See, this is the kind of stuff I like to see when it comes to law enforcement related issues.
And I knew Joe's history, and he had to be held accountable.
Inside the county courthouse in Fayetteville, North Carolina, Judge Lou Oliveira made headlines with an unusual decision.
You may be seated.
A few years ago, Joe Cerna was arrested for drunk driving. As part of his probation, he wasn't allowed to drink. So when he lied about a recent urine test, the judge felt he had no choice.
I gave Joe a night in jail because he had to be held accountable.
It was just one night, but as he entered the cell, Joe says he knew it would be one of the longest nights of his life.
When I walked into the jail cell and they closed the door behind me, I started feeling this anxiety.
It came back?
It came back, a flashback.
Retired Army Sergeant First Class Joe Cerna did 3 tours in Afghanistan and has 2 Purple Hearts to show for it. The Green Beret survived an IED and a suicide bomber. But he says his scariest moment was the night he was riding in a truck with 3 other soldiers.
What happened?
We were following the creek, and the road gave way. And the vehicle went in the creek.
Truck started filling with water?
Yeah. All hope was lost.
Trapped and unable to move, Joe felt the water rising, past his legs, then waist and neck, until finally it stopped at his chin.
How many guys got out of that truck?
Alive?
Yeah.
Just me. I was a sole survivor.
Joe says it still haunts him.
So I suffer from PTSD.
Among his issues,
Then I would drink.
a fear of being in small, cramped places.
But I just felt I had to go with him. I felt I had to go with him.
Now, for me, having been a police officer for over 30 years, this video really touched my heart.
And so, a few minutes after Joe was locked up, Judge Lou Oliveira surprised the man he sent to jail by joining him for the entire night.
We ate meatloaf, and we talked about a lot of things.
We talked about our families.
And the walls got further apart?
The walls just they didn't exist anymore. He brought me back to North Carolina from being in a truck in Afghanistan. That meant so much to me, sir.
I know.
This week, Joe promised the judge no more mess-ups.
I don't want to let you down, ever.
Here you have a judge who really has no purpose or reason to do what he did other than just put this man in jail, hold him accountable, and get on with his life. But I love the heart of this judge because he recognizes the human condition, how all of us are fallen, all of us are broken. We've all had things in our past that have caused us to stumble. And although this judge held him accountable and forced him to spend a night in jail, which his crime deserved, the judge went one step further, recognizing that there was something deeper going on here with this man. The whole issue with him being claustrophobic and being in confined spaces, from the incident when he was in the Humvee and the water came up to his chin, that would freak out most people. And then being the only one getting out of there alive. I'm telling you now, PTSD is real, y'all. Especially when you're in a combat situation and you're watching your friends die. And maybe these are situations where you feel like you're responsible for that person dying, maybe because you're driving the vehicle or whatever the circumstances were. And I'm not even discounting other disciplines. You know, we all have lives, and serious trauma can cause post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't care if you're a police officer and you get in a shooting, or if you're a child and you get molested. PTSD is real. And I love the heart of this judge who could see beyond his position and recognize the humanness in this other man, where he took time out of his day and spent the night in the jail cell with this man. I got to give you kudos, Judge. In all my years in law enforcement, I never saw anything like that exemplified. So my hat's off to you. And to those of you that are watching, all of us should be striving to see the best in other people. All of us should be striving to bend over backwards to get our eyes off of ourselves and onto somebody else, which is what this judge did. He took the focus off of himself and focused on this young man and this young man's future. And I guarantee you that this young man that he locked up, that he chose to spend the night in his jail cell with, will be impacted for the rest of his life. Don't you want to impact people like that? Anyway, I love you guys, and I'll check you on the next one. Later.